In front of you, you can see the reality. Others are fiercely competitive with you, not just with you. However, this fierce battle signifies something much more significant than achieving some flimsy celebrity status. You deserve real respect. They are after you because you have raised the bar so high that defeating you genuinely means something, not because they are famous or powerful. They respect forces rather than celebrities, and you've turned into just that. Their rivalry is fear masquerading as ambition, not flattery. When they are fighting for your job, keep in mind that what you are being told today is more than common knowledge, more than conventional wisdom, and more than ordinary understanding. Right now, the universe has decided to speak to you personally. Therefore, you had better pay attention, because what is going on around you is not a coincidence, accident, or random sequence of events. People compete with you because they respect you, not because you're famous. Take a minute to process that. Allow it to slam into your mind like a meteor piercing the atmosphere. They don't think you're some fleeting celebrity, which is why you sense the competition, friction, and heat around you. No, they compete because they fear your potential, respect your might, and acknowledge your force. Possessing an unquestionable presence is what true power is all about, not being in the spotlight. The air turns electrified, and the atmosphere shifts. That's respect, not fame. Observe how they move, adapt, and reevaluate their entire existence when you enter their circle. Take note of the strategic opposition, the desperate imitation, and the silent envy. Every single bit of it is evidence of your impact. They contend with forces that cannot be disregarded, and at this moment, that force is you. They don't compete with the unimportant. They don't confront the inconsequential. They don't fight the weak. Your voice has weight, not because it's loud, but because it's genuine, and your very presence demands attention. Your ideas spread because they are transformative, not because they are trendy. With each step you take, you are actively changing this world rather than merely occupying it. You're going about your business, following your path, and concentrating on your goal when all of a sudden, without prior notice, invitation, or consent, others have transformed your journey into their race. People are in a race you never signed up for, but they don't compete. Observe how others strive to surpass you, how they try to outshine you, and how they find it difficult to outperform you, while you just exist, create, and simply be. They mimic your style, your distinct aesthetic, your distinct flavor, and your signature approach. They steal your words, your potent language, your captivating narratives, and your transformative expressions. They replicate your moves, your exact blueprint, your precise calculations, and your specific methodology. But take note of this important fact. This is desperation, not admiration. These are competitors trying to overtake you, not admirers rejoicing in your greatness. They want to take your place, not stand by your side. Their behavior makes everything clear, including how they examine every move you make, break down every achievement you make, and assess every tactic you employ. This isn't a passing curiosity. Rather, it's a competitive obsession. And what's even more telling is that the competition is unfair, unbalanced, and unequal. One force against many opponents, one power against many obstacles. It's you against many. When the universe places you in a situation where a lot of people are competing with one another, where the majority is concentrating on a minority, and where the audience is focusing on the person, that is respect, not celebrity. They organize against what they admire, rather than banding together against the weak, the helpless, or the inconsequential. What scares them the most about you is that you are unreplicable. Their fear stems from something more profound than conscious cognition, more primordial than logical comprehension, and more profound than intellectual understanding. They sense it in their marrow, feel it in their blood, and sense it in their bones. They believe that there is a formula for success, that they can figure out a pattern, memorize a method, or replicate it, that they can become you if they only pay enough attention to you, imitate you exactly, or copy you exactly. However, since your power derives from truth rather than technique, what you have cannot be copied, mimicked, or duplicated. Authenticity is the source of your influence, not technique. Your influence comes from your core, not from your approach. Without realizing that authenticity cannot be bought, borrowed, stolen, or fabricated, they rush to imitate your essence. They purchase the same tools, adopt the same strategies, use the same language, and travel the same routes. What they cannot replicate, they have tried to find the secret, to decipher the code, to steal the formula. They watch you with hungry eyes, studying your every step, hoping to trace it, hoping to map it, hoping to manufacture the very essence that makes you different. But what they do not understand is that what you have cannot be duplicated, cannot be copied, cannot be transferred, because what you have is divine, God-given, a signature written in the ink of eternity itself. They see the way you move, the way you carry yourself, the way you step into a room and shift the very atmosphere. They sense it in their marrow, feel it in their blood, and know it in their bones. There is something about you, something unshakable, something untouchable, and that terrifies them. They thought success was a blueprint, a method they could memorize, a technique they could copy. They believed if they only watched you long enough, imitated you closely enough, they could become you. They thought they could master your light the way one learns a skill, that they could wear your anointing like a borrowed coat. But what they fail to understand is this: you are not a skill to be learned. You are not a method to be memorized. You are not a position to be claimed. You are chosen. And when someone is chosen, there is no substitute. They have studied your ways, but they cannot replicate your wisdom. They have copied your moves, but they cannot match your power. They have tried to outshine you, but their borrowed light dims in comparison to the fire that God placed inside of you. Oh, they may try. They may dress like you, speak like you, walk like you, even attempt to claim your calling. But what they do not realize is that without the anointing, all they hold in their hands are empty gestures. Without divine purpose, all they are left with is a lifeless imitation. You see, God does not mass-produce greatness. He does not create duplicates of the extraordinary. And when He sets His hand upon someone, when He bestows favor upon them, when He marks them as His own, there is nothing man can do to steal, to mimic, to manufacture what was never theirs to hold. That is why they fear you. That is why they band together, hoping to push you out, hoping to silence you, hoping to convince the world that you do not belong. Because deep down, they know the truth. You are what they can never be. It's why Saul hunted David. It's why Pharaoh tried to kill Moses. It's why Joseph's brothers threw him in a pit. Because when favor rests upon you, when destiny has called your name, the world will rise up to test you, to challenge you, to break you. But hear me today, they will not succeed. They may gather, they may whisper, they may scheme, but no matter how many hands come against you, they will fail, not because you are smarter, not because you are stronger, not because you are more qualified, but because God Himself has already declared the victory over your life. You are the eagle. You are the ones set apart. You are the light they cannot dim, the fire they cannot extinguish, the force they cannot comprehend. So do not lower yourself to explain what was never meant to be understood by them. Do not waste your breath trying to prove what is already evident to those with eyes to see. Do not pause your flight to battle with crows who will never reach the altitude God has called you to. Let them talk. Let them watch. Let them chase shadows while you walk in substance. And when they finally realize that they will never be you, when they finally accept that they will never possess what they tried so desperately to steal, when they finally see that all their attempts were in vain, then and only then will they understand. Respect is not given by men. It is commanded by presence. And you, my friend, are walking in the presence of something far greater than any force on this earth can comprehend. However, since your power derives from truth rather than technique, what you have cannot be copied, mimicked, or duplicated. Authenticity is the source of your influence, not technique. Your influence comes from your core, not from your approach. Without realizing that authenticity cannot be bought, borrowed, stolen, or fabricated, they rush to imitate your essence. They purchase the same tools, adopt the same strategies, use the same language, and travel the same routes so you can see how desperate they are. However, no matter how hard they try, how serious they are, how engaged they are to their trials, or how focused they are, they never succeed, never hit the mark, and never have the spark. Because your strength comes from within, not from without. Your spirit, not your exterior, gives you authority. And your depth, not your outward presentation, offers you influence. For this reason, they can imitate your motions but never match your attraction. They can replicate your tactics but never your magic. They can copy your decisions but never your supremacy. And they are driven insane by this reality, this indisputable fact, this unalterable principle, this incontrovertible truth. They are unable to comprehend why their exact duplicate results in imprecise impact, why their flawless imitation produces imperfect effects, and why their exact replication produces inexact results. The solution is straightforward yet profound. Genuineness cannot be faked. Being genuine in a world of imitations, authentic in a world of duplicates, and real in a world full of reproductions is what earns you respect. They compete fiercely against you because of their authenticity, their unyielding genuineness, their uncompromising realness, and their unbreakable authenticity. Don't be misled. You are currently the target of a war. The battlefield is present in both visible and invisible dimensions. The physical world where bodies move and actions speak, the digital world where words and images circulate, and the energetic world where frequencies resonate and intents emerge. Not on battlefields of mud and stone, but on battlefields of influence and perception. Not with uniformed armies, but with people in disguise. Not with weapons of steel and gunpowder, but with weapons of position and jealousy. This battle started quietly, covertly, and strategically without any announcements, declarations, or proclamations. Even strangers, people you've never met, never spoken to, never interacted with, have positioned themselves as opponents. Old friends, people who once stood by your side, once encouraged you, once championed you, have become rivals. Ex-supporters, people who once rejoiced in your success, once praised your accomplishments, once encouraged your advancement, have become rivals. They maneuver against you with the accuracy of soldiers carrying out a crucial assignment. They study you with the commitment of military strategists assessing and opposing force. And they plan against you with the dedication of generals, organizing a crucial campaign. However, they still fail, fall short, and miss their goal in spite of their preparation, planning, and accuracy, because they are fighting their own shortcomings, not you. They are fighting against their own absence, not your presence. Their conflict is revealing their own weakness, not your power. They believed they could take your place, as though your role were just a position to be filled, not a formidable opponent. All they did was show their preoccupation, their focus, and their obsession. Your superstar status is not demonstrated by this silent war, this unannounced fight, this undeclared combat, or this unacknowledged struggle. Celebrities deal with admirers and detractors. You deal with rivals and adversaries. That's respect, not celebrity. They fight against what they value, not against the irrelevant, the unimportant, or the inconsequential. They turn to darker strategies when direct competition, head-to-head challenges, simple opposition, and open rivalry fail. These strategies come from shadow worlds, secret dimensions, and hidden places where reality is distorted and truth is perverted. Examine the pattern, the sequence, the progression. They can't beat you, so they try to redefine you. They can't match your influence, so they try to rebrand it as manipulation. They can't equal your impact, so they try to reframe it as harm. They can't defeat your strength, so they try to reframe it as weakness. Rumors proliferate, accusations fly, stories circulate, narratives form, smear campaigns begin, and whispers begin. All of a sudden, you're dealing with accusations that warp your reality, assertions that distort your truth, and tales that corrupt your life. See how they portray themselves as victims of your success, how they portray themselves as victims of your accomplishment, how they portray themselves as victims of your advancement. They were harmed by your improvement, they were hurt by your progress, and they were damaged by your growth. And watch how the staged victimhood plays out. They couldn't ascend to your level, so it's all an attempt to weaken your prestige, lower your standing, and lessen your stature. A desperate, deliberate, and intentional attempt. They attempted to cut you down to size by dragging you down to their elevation since they were unable to equal yours. They also attempted to lower your altitude because they were unable to achieve your height. What they don't realize, though, is that the true ones see right through it. Everyone who possesses true discernment, wisdom, insight, and understanding avoids falling for fake stories, accepting fake accounts, and believing constructed narratives. Smear campaigns are seen by them as desperation, masquerading as justice. They recognize phony outrage for what it is, rivalry masquerading as worry. They recognize public attacks for what they are, fear cloaked in reverence. Celebrities aren't the targets of these dishonest tactics, deceptive strategies, or manipulative techniques. Celebrities deal with tabloids and rumors. You have to deal with deliberate attempts to destroy your reputation. That's respect, not fame. They systematically target what they admire, rather than deliberately attacking the irrelevant, painstakingly disparaging the weak, or strategically smearing the unimportant. Look, if you're paying attention, you already know that the game is rigged and that the walls are closing in. Let's discuss our current course of action. Recognize this distinction, this important difference, this important division, this important contrast. Respect is not the same as celebrity. Let's dissect something to its most basic reality, its cosmic essence, and its essential truth. Respect is about reverence. Fame is about recognition. Respect is about being feared. Fame is about being recognized. Respect is about strength. Fame is about popularity. They want to think that they are up against a celebrity, someone whose importance stems from popularity, whose value comes from visibility, and whose worth comes from recognition. However, they are not competing with a star. Rather, they are contending with a force that can be felt without stages, seen without spotlights, and experienced without platforms. It is not necessary to be well known in order to have power, to be praised in order to have influence, or to be acknowledged in order to have influence. Because real power, legitimate power, and unmistakable power are found in presence rather than in a title, position, or status. This explains why you can shake rooms in quiet, shift atmospheres without saying anything, and change dynamics without taking any action. All it takes to upset their balance and undermine their position is your very being, your basic presence, your basic being, and your fundamental truth. They are absolutely confused, frustrated, and perplexed by this reality because, in their minds, influence should be introduced, authority should be announced, and power should come with fanfare. And yet here you are, commanding respect without attracting attention, possibly without the conventional indicators of achievement, success, or advancement. You are so dangerous to them because of this paradox, this seeming contradiction, this seeming inconsistency, and this perceived incongruity. You've accomplished what they believed was unachievable. Respect devoid of dependence. Respect that is independent of their acceptance. Respect that is independent of their approval. And respect that is independent of their acknowledgement. That's sovereignty, not celebrity. Additionally, they compete with what they respect rather than alongside the dependent, the needy, or the reliant. You are not here by accident. If you feel the pull, the knowing deep inside that you are chosen, this is your moment. Click the super thank you button and give $50 or more to unlock deeper insights, exclusive content, and a path that aligns with your divine purpose. This isn't just a contribution, it's a declaration, a step toward who you were meant to be. Answer the call, walk with us, and step fully into your destiny. Your journey begins now. This is the universal reality, the divine principle, the natural rule, and the cosmic truth that they cannot avoid. Fairness always prevails. This is cosmic mathematics, universal physics, and spiritual science, not wishful thinking, hopeful imagination, or desperate fantasy. Justice happens naturally, organically, and unavoidably, not by coerced intervention, controlled results, or manufactured repercussions. They sought to steal your force, capture your essence, extract your energy, and absorb your power. But they were never able to hold, contain, or possess it, since essence can only be embodied. Energy can only be created. It cannot be stolen. Power can only be developed. It cannot be taken. This explains why their attempts to misuse your power, seize your influence, and use your influence to their advantage are always unsuccessful. The truth always wins out. The indisputable truth, the unchangeable truth, the unavoidable truth. Real power is embodied, not transferable, expressed, not replicable, and manifested. It is also impossible to steal. See what happens to those who tried to unfairly compete with you. See the results for those who tried to unscrupulously replace you. See the results for those who seek to discredit you dishonestly. They are left chasing ghosts, chasing shadows, hunting phantoms, tracking specters, while you continue to rise, continue to advance, continue to ascend, not because you focused on defeating them, not because you concentrated on overcoming them, not because you committed yourself to conquering them, but because you stayed focused on your path, your particular journey, your mission, your particular purpose, while they continue to be fixated on you. Your fame isn't demonstrated by this organic balance, this natural fairness, this unavoidable equilibration, or this instinctive harmonizing. The repercussions that celebrities confront are shaped by public opinion. You are seeing consequences that are planned by universal law. That's respect, not fame. The cosmos preserves equilibrium for what it respects. It does not re-establish order for the unimportant, balance the scale for the inconsequential, or impose justice for the irrelevant. Before you get to the end, you need to realize something important about your role in this eternal drama. Your ascent isn't random, coincidental, or accidental. Rather, it's governed by cosmic law. A star doesn't ask for permission to shine when it reaches critical mass. A volcano doesn't ask for permission to erupt when it builds up enough pressure, and lightning doesn't ask for permission to strike when it accumulates enough charge. When circumstances call for it, natural forces come into play. Your respectable position, your arrangement of authority, this important circumstance, this position of strength, arose because the group required it to. It is impossible for the universe to produce power without intention, force without purpose, or energy without function. You are where you are because it is necessary for cosmic balance. This is the reason why their attempts to replace you, to displace you, and to undermine their plans to do so consistently fail. It is global design that they are fighting against, not just another individual. They are not only against another person, they are against the order of the cosmos. They are not just opposing a rival, they are opposing the natural order. And they will always lose that fight, that pointless struggle, that impossible contest, that unwinnable war. Not because you're more talented, though you may be. Not because you're more committed, though that may be true. Not because you're more strategic, though that may be true, but because you're in line with something bigger than individual effort, something that goes beyond personal striving, something that goes beyond human endeavor. You are in sync with the cosmic purpose. What really sets you apart from your rivals is this alignment, this harmony with higher forces, this congruence with greater powers, and this compliance with universal principles. You are the embodiment of purpose. They battle for place. They fight for prestige. You stand for importance. They fight for attention. You make things happen. If your heart overflows with God's blessings, let that love shine. Click the super thank you button and give $20 or more to plant seeds of faith that will impact countless lives. Your generosity reflects His abundance. Be a vessel of His grace and watch His kingdom flourish through you. They cannot stop, hinder, or obstruct the unavoidable ascent of your cosmic significance. Since natural forces cannot be permanently subdued, they might as well attempt to stop gravity from pulling, water from flowing, and fire from burning. You now comprehend, really comprehend, profoundly comprehend, fully comprehend the true cause of the rivalry that surrounds you. Their rivalry is evidence of your regard, not of your celebrity. Their infatuation with outperforming you is proof that you've already won, not that you're famous. Their obsession with taking your place shows your strength, not your popularity. You should see everything around you differently as a result of this epiphany, this deep comprehension, this profound insight, and this transformative awareness. The antagonism is positional rather than personal. It is an institutional competition rather than an individual one. The challenges are polite and not arbitrary. They compete because you stand for something they want to become, something they wish they were, or something they wish to actualize. Allow them to compete against shadows, phantoms, projections, and pictures that they have generated, while you continue to be the norm, the benchmark, and the point of reference. As you continue to change beyond their grasp, let them exhaust themselves trying to compete with a distorted version, a misrepresented picture, or a wrong perception of you. As you rise to heights they haven't yet envisioned, let them battle over your former position, the area you once inhabited, the place you once filled, the spot you once held. It is not your job to participate in their rivalry, their worried rivalry, their desperate contest, or their frenzied race. It is your duty to comprehend what their rivals disclose. You have achieved something far more significant than notoriety, something far more enduring than stardom, something far more potent than popularity. You have garnered respect. It is not the superficial respect that results from agreement, admiration, or achievement. Rather, it is the deep respect that arises from threat, the genuine respect that arises from fear, and the authentic respect that comes from acknowledging one's own power. This is the respect that modifies realities, paths, and atmospheres.